Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Now what I didn't know then. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense if you really think about it. A little bit of Zen, but, sound it out. Janie was lovely. She was the queen of my nights. Ah, yeah. Just underway. The mic is my steroid. It is my drug. But if I need a little something else, along with substances, it's always rock and roll. It's always music. It does not disappoint, okay? It does not go punt, 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 miss field goal, downs, 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 touchdown, punt, punt. That's what the Jaguars did yesterday on 11 possessions. And unfortunately, they fell back to the old school Jaguars that we have all become way too accustomed of. That is starting slow. 20 yards in the very first coma. The 1 o'clock, even though it was, 9:30 yard time. Offensive coma has officially returned to Duval. And you can press tailor me all you want. I'm here for it. You can take me through Urban Meyer. You can Daryl Bevel me if you'd like. You can Doug Peterson me if that's what you'd like to do. What do they all have in common? 3 and out, 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 3 and out. No scoring first quarter. That happened yesterday. I don't know. Logistically, I thought they made the right move. They were there for about a month. And while we're at it, the London thing is over, right? It just sucks. It benefits no one. They don't win there. And I know, the puppeteer himself in Roger Goodell, before we know it, he's going to tell us we're getting 18 games and that, all 32 teams are going to play, internationally speaking, which, again, is a total joke. So it's not even really worth my airtime to complain about because it's not going to happen. There's going to be no change. And, one of my almost heart attacks live on air was during when we were told about the new facelift and the agreement with the city, the long lease, which was so needed, and it guaranteed that football would be here for 30-plus years. It was a win, 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 yet I still felt and obviously complained about it anyway because no one said, what about getting 8 games here instead of having to go to London? It didn't even get brought up, okay? It was a foregone conclusion that they were going to continue to play that game in London. So take it for what it is. I'm not making excuses. This football team was just awful yesterday, and maybe it's the best way to head towards the break. A little bit of humble pie, and for this football team now, you really need to start from scratch. Okay, so it's good to have you with us. Alongside Dylan Denmark, I'm Rick Ballou. What a brutal weekend for fans around here. The Jaguars game notwithstanding, you had the combination of Napier and Norvell both fired. That's Jay Norvell, which was in itself cruel and unusual. Seriously. Editors across the United States of America should have been arrested for cruel and unusual punishment by putting out the byline or headline that said Norvell is gone. Because I know a lot of Florida State fans, and it's certainly if you're younger than 20, you don't read, right? You just look at the headline. You probably tell your buddy, hey, my God, this is unbelievable. Mike Norvell's been fired. No, read the story. Read the entire story. I read the first paragraph. It says it was Jay Norvell in Colorado State. So a little bit of tease that went to the wayside there, and all sorts of problems in Tallahassee. I'm probably not going to talk about it today, just because Florida State right now, in my opinion, is really not worthy of airtime. Okay, give them what they want, and that is nothing, and that is a massive problem. Okay, you got former players like Kentron Portier. All he ever did was drop balls in his career at Florida State. Okay, calling out the administration, calling out bringing in all these new players and paying them more money than players who are already there. Well, the reason why they did that is the players who are already there sucked. Like you, Portier. I mean, my memory of you is dropping ball after ball after ball after ball after ball. So anyway, you're entitled to your opinion. I am entitled to criticize your opinion. At least come forward and be someone who has done something. Jordan Travis, for instance. Jordan didn't like my comments last week. He unfollowed me. Great young man. When my dad passed, he reached out to me. When my mom passed, he reached out to me. I criticized Mike Norvell. He unfollowed me. That's life, and I'm fine with it. I'm okay with it, okay? I understand why Travis would defend his coach, but Mike Norvell is terrible. How do you start the game with a delay of game? How do you start the game with a delay of game? So that is the problem there. The problem here, you want to believe is fixable. You really do. And let's be honest about it. This thing was not going to be built in a year. They overachieved early. They got some big wins. They took advantage of some injuries in San Francisco, and they beat a Kansas City team here on a magnificent Monday night. This is basically a situation right now, though, where you just have to tip the cap. You have to look at a better organization with the Rams, a better coach with the Rams, a better quarterback with the Rams, better players with the Rams, a better game plan with the Rams. There's no defense. And, last week on these very airwaves, I really defended Trevor Lawrence, almost to the point where some of you out there were referring to me as a Trevor Lawrence apologist and that I never actually blame him. That's not true. I think I'm the only person in this city who said do not sign him to that contract extension when they did. I am fair each and every week. We have identified the problems throughout his career, the constant change of play callers, the constant change of play callers who really suck at their job, the fact that they haven't been able to run the football, and the fact that they've had a really bad offensive line. We went into this season saying one thing: the excuses are over. It's on Trevor in year 5. And what we are witnessing right here in Duval is arguably the biggest disparity between talent and results, physical skills, generational, with poor decision making, with the ability not to read defenses, with the inconsistency that has reared its ugly head in 5 years. And he can't complete the shortest of passes. He's like Mackie Sasser out there. He's like Steve Blass. He's like Chuck Knobloch. If you have no idea what I'm referring to, just Google it and bring up throwing the baseball, and you'll be able to understand where I'm going. Have I given up on Trevor Lawrence? Hell no. Is it all Trevor Lawrence's fault? Hell no. No. The offensive line, again, in consecutive weeks was just brutal. They allowed 7 more sacks. But he needs to take a lot of this responsibility. He is supposed to be a difference maker. He didn't get the football to Travis Hunter until less than 2 minutes to go in the first half on a reverse. All we heard all week was, here it is, it's going to happen, Travis is going to get the ball. Well, he ended up putting up some phenomenal numbers, albeit in garbage time. They didn't go to him when they needed to go to him. So it was a bad game plan, and it was a bad performance by the quarterback. 20 yards in the first quarter. 20. You're not going to win in this league when you do that. So there is a plethora of mistakes. Here's the good news. Every team in the NFL has problems. There's not a dominant team right now in the league. All right, that is football today. That is the way it is, and that's the way they wanted it to be in the salary cap era. The dynasties and the great runs by teams like the Patriots, they thought that was something that would never occur. It doesn't feel like that's going to be the situation now, perhaps with the Chiefs notwithstanding. We shall see. This organization, I believe, is the right one, and they're going to have to continuously make moves to try to fix this thing. Trevor Lawrence isn't going anywhere. He's your quarterback for the next several years. How good is he going to be? How good can they get them remains the main question. And remember, you've got Tennessee twice. You've got a game in 2 weeks out in Vegas. You've got some other very winnable games here. This team absolutely, not to mention 2 against Indy. This team could still win the AFC South. This team still could win, 9 games or so this year. But not a good performance yesterday. There's really no other way to say it. That was absolutely awful for the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, we got a ton to do here over the next couple of hours. It's going to be a great week. Tons happening, and we're going to be there for all of it. The good folks at Shmunez Vision, they always give you the top part of the program. And, of course, the number one thing they do is give you the most value for your money. It's like everything else in life. You go into a business or you go into a practice, and you see all this advanced technology, right? All these incredible machines, and they're going to hook you up to this machine or hook you up to that machine. They're going to tell you it's the best of the best, and it is. And they're also going to charge you a whole heck of a lot of money. Here's the deal with Shmunez Vision. They have all that equipment. You may not need it, okay? You may just are there for a simple examination. Your eyes may be fine to the point where you don't have to go to that type of technology. If needed, they have it. But remember the premise here. It's about saving you money, the most value for your money. More than 37 years worth of experience when it comes to surgery with Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, and Dr. John Hunt. Check them out online. Go to Shmunez Vision. Also go to Instagram. Get the very latest as far as testimonials from the good folks there who love Shmunez Vision as I do. Okay, I'm Rick Ballou. Dylan Denmark is here. When we come back, we'll hear from him. We're going to play some Liam Cohen for you. I'm a big fan. But he's now done this 2 weeks in a row. And I warned you about it a week ago. And you went back to it again yesterday. I hope he doesn't go back to it again for the remainder of the year. You don't want him to become Doug Marrone-esque. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, good. It's coming up next.
1010XL is committed to getting you closer to your favorite players. That's why we sent Jags beat reporter Hayes Carlyon to bring you back one-on-one interviews in the locker room. Unsealed by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lot bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
If you're tired of weekend projects turning into weekend disasters, you're not alone. Building a fence isn't as easy as it looks. And let's face it, your neighbor still hasn't fixed his lopsided masterpiece. But Superior Fence and Rail makes it easy. Highly trained professionals, top quality materials, and a fence you'll love for years to come. Skip the stress and call the pros today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
1010XL is the home of Gator Nation and the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. I'm Hacker, and we keep you connected with the University of Florida all year long. Get Gator Bites where you find podcasts.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
It's the event everyone waits for. Now at Beard's Diamonds. Buy one, get one free on all wedding bands. Now for a limited time, when you buy his wedding band, get hers free. Buy hers, get his free. Save up to $10,000. Are you about to get married or been married for years thinking it's time for an upgrade? There's nothing that symbolizes your love more than the wedding band. Beard's has hundreds and hundreds of bands from top designers in white gold, yellow gold, rose gold, titanium, platinum, plain bands, channel set bands, pave set, eternity bands. And for men, masculine bands, wide, modern, with and without diamonds, hammered, brushed, engraved, lots of colors. Come to Beard's now and find the wedding band that reflects your style and your personality. Buy one, get the second one free. The big box corporate jewelry stores can't or won't do this, but Beard's can. And it's happening now through October 26th. Buy one wedding band, get the second one free. Don't miss this opportunity to celebrate your eternal love with the eternal symbol. Beard's Diamonds at St. John's Town Center.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window World.
Simply the best for less.
And thank you for your business.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Let's go to Hollywood. Hell no. Duval, people. Lick your wounds. Do it. Man, what a brutal weekend. No question about it. All right, tonight's show brought to you by Miller Electric. The Miller Electric Company, they're always being considered and recognized as one of the top companies right here in Duval. They've been in business now for more than 96 years. Hey, no matter where you are in Jacksonville, what do you see? Building, construction. Why? More people want to live here. Okay? They're coming from all directions. I really mean that, even though there's a great deal of water to one side of it. And they're coming from all directions. And they want to live here in Duval. And no matter what the situation is, it absolutely involves Miller Electric. Okay? It is a practice, it is a situation, a tool that is so incredible that it's never going to go away. All right, electrical work. I mean, a lot of things have gone away. Electrical work is not one of those. That is, it is the perfect trade, and they are hiring. So, if you're unhappy at your current position, and you are an electrician, if you're a young aspiring electrician, if you're in a midlife crisis and you're looking for a new start, just go to Miller Careers. They tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you a chance to showcase your skills on the grand scale. They also believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people care about one another. Go to Miller Careers for all the details, the Miller Electric Company. Dylan Denmark, just your average weekend.
Yeah, typical football weekend. A lot of action going on. So much so, if you need to know how much football is the top dog around here, Shohei Ohtani Friday night putting on a performance for the ages, something we'll probably never see again.
Wow.
And I don't know if anybody's even talked about it at most radio stations across the country because football is the dominant dog.
There's no question. And, yeah, watching what Ohtani did the other night was insane. We got a big Game 7 coming up tonight in Toronto. The Blue Jays have totally bounced back in this series. So Game 7 coming up and a couple of Monday Night Football games as well. So certainly a lot of good stuff this week, which will continue. The Jaguars get a bye. It comes at the right time. Feels like they're licking their wounds right now. It feels like they need a reboot right now. And that includes about 90 minutes ago, Liam Cohen via Zoom today did meet with the local media, and he was asked about his quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, and what he believes he's doing well.
He's taking care of the football. We have thrown no, I don't want to throw the ball as many times as we've thrown it, not because of him, just because of staying balanced. But we were able to create some explosives in this past week. Obviously, it became one of those kind of games. We've got to start faster. Like, we have got to start faster as an offense at the quarterback position, not take a little bit of time to get into the flow. That's on us to also help. All right, hey, these are the exactly what we're thinking early on. Hey, these are the calls. These are the thoughts. This is the exact looks we're thinking about getting. How do we prepare better and continue to take advantage of our operation, trying to be an edge? I mean, we were better in and out of the huddle last week. We're better from that standpoint, but we've got to make the easy ones easy. And we've also, I thought he stood in there, took some shots too. We also got to, we can't take so many sacks either, from all 11 though. Sacks are all 11. It's the route, it's the quarterback, it's the running back, it's the OL. Those are things that we can control.
That was Liam Cohen earlier today. All right, so again, there's a lot to fix. There are certainly plenty of problems. And, it's everything, top to bottom. It's logistics, for crying out loud. The Rams checked in 45 minutes before game time and completely dominated this game. Jacksonville was out there for a week. And, I know they're getting good sleep out there at the Grove. I've been to the Grove before. There's not a human being within 10 miles of the Grove. There was no distractions. They weren't ready. There's really no other way to say it. You come out, you run 3 plays, you gain 3 yards, and you pass. You get the ball back, you run 3 plays, you lose 3 yards, and you punt. The very first play of the game is a sack by Jared Verse. And, after the game, Trevor Lawrence comes out and says, we've got to start faster. These are plays that I have to make to get us going. He mentioned that he had Travis Hunter open, but for one reason or another, he did not throw the football to him. So this is a problematic situation, but I still think it is a fixable situation. Starting slow is maybe my biggest pet peeve. It is something that, for those of you who listen to me regularly, I do thank you, but I have been complaining about this forever. This goes back to Doug Marrone. This goes back through Urban Meyer. This goes through Doug Peterson. This happens time and again and time and again. And it didn't happen in this game, but there have been plenty of times over the years where the defense is doing its job early, okay? Not this week. They gave up 2 touchdowns before you knew what happened. Before you were able to really even sit down. It was 14-0 Los Angeles in this matchup. The only thing that I'm concerned about here with Liam Cohen is for a second consecutive week he went back to it starts with me. All right? And we know that they had an unforgivable 13 penalties for 119 yards. It wiped out a 61-yard punt return by Parker Washington, which, in my opinion, was an awful call. Just a really bad call. But I think that there is some truth to the reputation of, if you are a penalized franchise and push comes to shove, the call's going to go against you. And we saw it in week 2. There's no such thing as Jordan rules for a young Travis Hunter. That pass interference call at Cincinnati, it was week 2, and you saw it. Well, bad call here on the Parker Washington return. But I don't know how you're going to be able to fix that outside of just stop committing penalties. Debatable calls are going to go against you. I thought the Dewey hit, the pass, one of those hits in the end zone, what do they call it? Extra, I don't even know what it was called. Unnecessary roughness maybe was the call. I mean, no. But that's what you're dealing with. You have to deal with it and overcome it, okay? Guys like me and guys like you and gals like you out there listening, we can absolutely complain about it, all right? Look at the officiating this weekend. Look how it reared its head in all sorts of different games on Saturday and Sunday. I do believe when you have the reputation as a team that gets penalized, that is going to be the end result. And right now, Jacksonville leads the NFL in penalties, 9.3 a game. You're going to have to change that moving forward. So I understand the message by Liam Cohen, but you have to be spotty when using this. If you're going to go to it every time you lose, it's going to fall on deaf ears. Doug Marrone did that his entire tenure here. Everything that went wrong, okay, was on Doug Marrone. And it felt beyond fake at the end because regardless of the situation, Marrone took responsibility. I'm sure his intent was to show his players that he is a player's coach. But some of these scenarios are absolutely not on the coach. It's on the player. This is the player's full-time job. This is their profession. They are paid a ton of money to do their job the right way, and they're not. So I understand taking a punch. But don't do as Mike Norvell does every single week, okay? As Doug Marrone did every time they lost. Sooner or later, that message gets lost. I hope this is it for Liam Cohen, doing it 2 weeks in a row. I hope he doesn't have to go back to that anymore. I mean, he's going to be responsible when it's all said and done for 13 penalties and 119 yards, but they're not all his fault. He's going to take responsibility for the fact that there were more drops again yesterday by Brian Thomas Jr., okay? 2 more in this game. That's not necessarily all his fault. He's going to take responsibility for the fact that they had absolutely zero pass rush. 2 games in a row. No sacks. That's not necessarily all his fault. 2 games in a row that this football team wasn't able to get a takeaway after having 14 in their first 5 weeks. That's not necessarily his fault. Cam Little missing a field goal yet again, a 50-yarder. Not his fault. Now, he tries to make changes. He benches Bayshell Tootin and LaQuint Allen as return guys who have looked totally out of sorts. I mean, it's returning a kick. These rookies have looked clueless when it comes. So you put Diami Brown in there, okay? I mean, he's trying to do some things. The offensive line, again, is just awful. Just awful. And I don't know what they're going to do here. Maybe it's time to bring back Jonah Monheim. Play him at a guard. Patrick McCarry, man, he was their most expensive offensive lineman. He was their big-ticket guy. Man, he's been bad. I mean, do you put Chuma Edoga in there? Do you put Monheim in there? Is it time for, Wyatt Milam to get some opportunities? I'm not pushing anything away from Trevor Lawrence. He has to make plays. He has to be better. But for crying out loud, this offensive line has been just awful in the last 2 weeks. They've allowed 17 sacks in the last 3 weeks, 14 in the last 2. And they began the year by allowing 3 sacks in 4 games. What's happened? You know, I'm asking. I don't know the answer to this question. What's happened? All of a sudden, the offensive line can't do anything.
How much of it do you think is Brent Strange not being able to play?
I think it has a whole heck of a lot to do with it. I also think they're really beaten up along the offensive line. It's easy to say make a change, but the most important aspect of this all is to find a way to win a game in Las Vegas in 13 days. I don't know if they're a better team with Monheim in there. I don't know if they're a better team with Milam in there. I don't know if they're a better team with Ed Oga in there, but it feels like something has to happen because they're just not doing the job. And they're forced to abandon the run. I mean, we previewed this game all week, Dylan. In my opinion, this was a run, stop the run game. And for a second consecutive week, they were limited to 19 carries and had to get away from it because Los Angeles made them a one-dimensional football team. All right, we got much more to do. Let me give you the ways that you can reach us. Welcome to those watching on YouTube tonight, 1010XL into the night. Also, our text line, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
If you can't get enough Jags and Gators,
Duval.
explore the 1010XL network. Get more of what you're looking for at 1010XL Gators and 1010XL Jaguars.
Expert Automotive on St. John's Bluff Road has some of the highest Google reviews in Jax for a reason. Expert Auto never sells greed, only what you need. All makes and models are serviced at Expert Automotive. This month, get an alignment inspection for only $19.99. Expert Auto does major engine and transmission repair and simple maintenance. All services done at Expert Auto by our ASC certified training technicians. Call today, 374-3373, and ask about $50 off any service. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
Poker players, the World Poker Tour is back at Best Bet Jacksonville, October 30th to November 18th, and the guarantees are massive. Event 1 brings a $200,000 guarantee. Event 6 has a $300,000 guarantee, and the main event has an enormous $1 million guarantee. With 14 tournaments, your chances of winning big have never been better. Want in on the action? WPT satellites are already playing out. Don't get left out. Head to bestbetjax.com for details. That's bestbetjax.com.
If you want to sell your home, or you're worried about selling your home, or you've had trouble selling your home, let me give you the hotline to the help you need. That's the hotline to Chad and Sandy. 904-414-6200, chadandsandy.com. Area homes are selling, but you got to get the right price, and you need the right marketing, the proven systems. Chad and Sandy hit every base for you. Need to sell now? Instant offers coming. Fast, easy, stress-free. You want max price? Chad and Sandy bring your home to market with unmatched exposure, whether you're buying or selling. Fast or max cash, Chad and Sandy have the proven plan guaranteed. And how about this promise? Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. They are the real estate experts you can trust. So call them today at 904-414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, A-N-D, Sandy.com.
It's the Fall Savings Event going on now at Renewal by Andersen. Upgrading your home has never been easier. Get 20% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires October 31st. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Strap in, Duval. The Jaguars are gearing up to face the Los Angeles Chargers Sunday, November 16th for our annual Salute to Service game. Join us as we honor and celebrate the brave men and women of our military all game long. Secure your seats now and be a part of the action by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. Let's stand together, Duval.
Business owners, are you tired of getting the runaround from your plumbing or AC vendors? Fire them now and call DuckDuckRooter. DuckDuckRooter is the trusted partner with some of the largest commercial companies in Northeast Florida. From a professional accounting office that makes contracts and invoicing seamless to highly skilled field technicians who fix the problems fast, they handle it all. Make the smart move today with DuckDuckRooter. Call 904-862-6769. 904-862-6769. DuckDuckRooter, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The sun came up today. At least you're not in London. Probably haven't seen the sun there since May. Jaguars have lost a few in a row. They got to bounce back. Vegas, they're actually a 1-point dog. It's already out, even though that game will not be played for 13 days. All right, on Monday night, we play something called What Floored Me. It's brought to you by the good folks at Fantastic Floors, who have been serving Northeast Florida for over 15 years. Huge selection, hardwood tile, LVP, carpets, family-owned, customer-focused, and how about the at-home consultation? No pressure, very convenient. They come right to your house and show you everything that you could possibly use for an upgrade or whatever it may be, perhaps something totally different, okay? Professional installation, and it's backed by warranties. For all the details, just go to fanfloors.com. I'm going to Friday night. I'm going to Ohtani. It was simply one of the greatest playoff performances in the history of Major League Baseball. Yeah, he hit 3 home runs and 3 at-bats. Yeah, he was like Reggie Jackson. Remember in 77 when Reggie went deep off of Bert Hooton? Then he went deep off of Eliza Sosa. And then he went deep off of the knuckleballer Charlie Huff. Remember Keith Jackson's trying to call it, and Howard Cosell steps out. It's gone. It's gone. I mean, Howard Cosell was out of control in the booth. Ohtani in complete control on Friday night. Congratulations, man. Just insane to watch. I know there was some good football on Friday with Louisville and Miami, the upset there, and watching Belichick late at night. Also Nebraska and Minnesota, the Tim Brando game. Ohtani also went 6 innings, 2 hits, struck out 10. So there you go. They're going to be a big favorite here to win the World Series. We'll see who they get after the conclusion of late tonight in Game 7 between Toronto and Seattle. So there you have it. Okay. The ditch is a concern. And, you know, physical football, physicality within football is something that is so very important. And, you know, I do understand defensively first. Trayvon Walker is not himself. He's giving it his all, but he's not. I mean, the wrist injury is problematic. And, you know, the bye is going to do him wonders. The fact that there's 13 days off where you do not have football is the best that you could possibly ask for there. The criticism of Josh Hines, Allen, it's valid, okay? It's just like criticizing Trevor Lawrence. When you make this amount of money, you are going to be the number one subject matter, both on offense and defense, respectively. He can't get a sack. Now, I understand that he's being double-teamed. I understand that he's getting chipped. A lot of you out there may not be aware of that. A lot of you really good football fans are. But the casual fan who's drinking, you know, Blatz after Blatz after Blatz and is, you know, in the bag by the beginning of the second quarter, which is fine, by the way. I'm not criticizing that. And perhaps maybe you're a little jealous. I mean, the way football's been around here lately, you need to drink to watch your team. But you may not be aware of the double teams. You may not be aware of the chipping that is going on. This is still a production-based game. It's a result-based game. There has to be some more there. And perhaps more the concern is you're just not getting any push whatsoever when it comes to your interior defensive line. If you look at the pressures yesterday, and I know this is starting to drive Jaguars fans crazy, Josh Hines-Allen had 7 pressures. He continues to be among league leaders in pressures, but he has a half sack. You go to the other side of the field and you see what Young did and you see what Verse did and you see what they did and how they came from all over the defense. Feels like every one of the 5 offensive linemen yesterday was responsible for allowing a sack. It's not like it specifically came only from one area. It was all throughout the defense from L.A. Armstead's actually been better than advertised. 4 pressures yesterday. You're just not getting anything outside of that, right? Ogba's a backup, certainly better than he was the first 3 games. He's starting to get some pressures, but the sack statistic ain't there. You had 1 apiece from Mason Smith, Ventrell Miller, and Dewan Smoot. They're not getting enough pass rush. And when you're not getting enough pass rush and you're a quarterback like Matt Stafford, he's just going to rip you apart. Stafford is such a great example when you look at where you want Lawrence to be. Stafford is a pure leader. Stafford is a guy who's out there without his best weapon. Stafford is out there with, I don't know if I'd call them reclamation projects, but look at what he did on that opening drive. He got 7 different wide receivers, tight ends, running backs involved with the passing game. Okay, that's how much of a student of the game he is. That's how good he is at his craft. It's not like he went to Davante Adams. No, he did not do that. Okay, certainly he had success with him. I mean, the man scored 3 touchdowns. But look at that first drive. And look at the passes and look at the guys who actually caught the football. You look at the Jaguars, and it's littered with first-round talent. Brian Thomas Jr., first-round talent. Travis Hunter, first-round talent. All right, we saw what Travis Hunter could do late in the game. Why didn't they go to him early? Why did it take 28 minutes and some seconds to go to Travis Hunter? Why? I mean, why? Why not feature him? I mean, and again, you have the very first play of the game, you have Trevor Lawrence telling you that he had him open, but he didn't throw the ball. Why? I mean, if you throw a ball to Travis Hunter, it gets picked off, okay. But isn't that better than 3 and out? I mean, it's just so incredibly frustrating. It's like they're not even trying to target their best players. You can't trust Brian Thomas Jr. right now. You can't do it. I mean, I wanted to brag about him last week, 8 receptions on 10 targets, a massive drop on 3rd down in the 4th quarter. And from the press box's earlier drop, a lot of you people flexed and said, Ballou, you have no idea what you're talking about. He slipped, and he actually got his hand up to protect what would have been an interception. Well, when I went back and watched it, totally disagree with that. I thought it was alligator arms. But still, he went 8 for 10, so that's really good considering what he's done so far this year. What he did yesterday. That ball right over the middle. You cannot trust Brian Thomas Jr. right now. Does that mean he won't get fixed? But he is gun shy right now. This man is hearing footsteps right now. And there should be less to him and more to Travis Hunter. And for what it's worth, as we head to this break, I'm totally convinced now that this football team is in a situation where they're going to have to outscore you. Okay? Jacksonville has to put up 24, 27, 30 on any given Sunday. So what does that mean? More Travis Hunter on offense, less Travis Hunter on defense. That was the case yesterday. It didn't work. I get it. But it's still the method. as far as I am concerned. We got a ton to do. He's still in Denmark. I'm Rick Ballou. We call this Into the Night.
At JEA, we're committed to keeping our community storm ready all year long. We continue to invest in our electric, water, and wastewater systems to make them more storm resistant. Our crews trim trees to help keep power lines clear from falling debris. Plus, our outage map and My JEA app make it easier than ever to report and track outages. Whatever storm season brings, we're ready to respond, restore, and keep you informed every step of the way. Learn more about our efforts and how you can prepare at jea.com/storm.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is served by Dandy Foods, making quality fresh sandwiches since 1956.
Brian Wall here with Window World. You know that awesome feeling when you finally find that one place to go to that will give you a top quality product at a great price and then stand behind what they sell you? That's exactly what Window World does. Top quality, energy efficient windows at a great price that keeps more of your money in your bank account. With the absolute best guarantee in the window replacement business. That's why Window World has been the #1 window replacement company in the USA for years, selling more than 1 million windows each year for the past 8 years. That's a lot of satisfied customers, and you can be one too. Save money on installing new energy-efficient windows and save on your energy bills too. You can't lose. And if anything goes wrong with your new Window World windows ever, Window World and I will be there to make it right. Call Window World today or see them online and have them come and give you a free estimate and see why we are so proud of our products and the work we do for our customers. Call Window World or go online at windowworldneflorida.com. And thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
Make Honda of the Avenues your first stop for award-winning customer service and world-class Honda vehicles. Our inventory is larger than ever, which means we have the perfect Honda waiting for you. Plus, at Honda of the Avenues, we always put our customers first, making the car buying experience fun, fast, and easy. You'll always find great deals on our huge selection of new and certified pre-owned Hondas, all prepped and ready for a test drive. Come see just how different car buying can be at Honda of the Avenues today. Stop by or shop from home at HondaoftheAvenues.com. Proud sponsor of Sporting Jags.
Keeping kids active is a full-time job for parents, so let I-9 Sports help. They've got winter and spring registration open right now for kids all over the First Coast to enjoy their favorite sports. Log on to i9sports.com and don't miss out on the upcoming seasons. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
Hi, I'm Amber Frangie. You know that other Frangie? Well, he's my dad. But I'm here to tell you about how much I appreciate the Awaken 180 weight loss program and how it's changed my life. Like a lot of folks, I let myself go a little. Not proud of that, but it happens. And I wasn't sure what to do. I've tried a lot of other weight loss programs, but they just didn't work. Not like Awaken 180. Can you believe I've lost 70 pounds in less than 4 months? With Awaken 180, there's no medication, no shots, and no side effects. And best of all, really fast results. You eat the food that's provided, and it's really good food. You work with a coach on a regular basis who guides you through the whole process. I'm never hungry. In fact, I never feel like I'm sacrificing anything. Just living a totally normal life. That's my new normal. And now, in October, they're offering free consultations. So there's no reason not to call them and learn more. Call them at 844-346-1800, or you can visit awaken180.com. It really has changed my life, and I bet it'll change yours too. That's Awaken 180.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Some injuries in this game. We'll see what happens. Plenty of time. Tim Patrick with a groin. Eric Murray, the neck, which is always a concern. He's had that for quite some time. Been on the injury report weekly. And Brian Thomas Jr. came out late with a shoulder injury. So, plenty of time. to get back. I talked about pressures and, where that is. And again, no sacks for Duval in this game. How about the other side of the equation? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. If you're drinking at home, take a big sip before I announce this. Patrick McCarry, 9 pressures allowed. I don't know what they're going to do there. He was their biggest signing on that offensive line. I mean, they moved Fred Johnson. They brought in Chuma Edoga. They drafted 2 players in Monheim and Wylam. And they also brought in Robert Hainsey. Okay, but McCarry was the big ticket guy. And he's not playing good football. He's had a lot of penalties, too. I don't know what they're going to do there. Okay, we've been told that this organization is going to be run where it's collaboration. Everyone's going to have a say. Well, what if the feeling is that McCarry's not working? And it's time to go to Edoga, or it's time to go to Monheim. And there's the other side of it. Well, we invested millions and millions and millions and millions in this guy. And we're going to stay with him. I don't know. Stuff like this happens, though, when you start losing. I'm not saying that that's an issue, but it has to be one that they're looking at right now. Hainsey allowed 7 pressures. What did Monheim allow last week? I saved it. Monheim was the highest graded during the loss to Seattle. He was the highest graded offensive line. I'll see if I can find that. Let's see. Monheim allowed, it was little as 6. It was Ezra and McCarry with 5 last week. So McCarry's had now 14 pressures allowed in the last 2 weeks. Monheim allowed 4. Hainsey allowed 7. So, still, there's some problems there. And listen, we get LA's ferocious defensive line. That's one of the best defensive lines they're going to face all year. That front 7 is incredible. And I'm not dismissing that. Little allowed 5, Anton 4, Ezra 2. Rookie LaQuinn Allen Jr. Allowed 1 in that, in a chipping scenario, in a pass blocking scenario in front of Trevor Lawrence. So that has to be looked at as well. Unfortunately, for the first time this year, the Jaguars are giving up more than they're scoring. This has gone in opposite ways now the last couple of weeks. Remember, they were really up. They were around 25 points a game at one point. They were allowing 17 at one point. Current numbers now, they're 22nd in the NFL in scoring at 20.9, and they are 15th right now defensively in points allowed at 22.1. Hey, they got a real opportunity to knock off Las Vegas in 13 days. There's no question about it. But it's going to be really intriguing to see what happens as far as changes. I mean, today is what? The 20th of October. So you have, 11 days this month and then 4 days. So, you've got a half month to still make some moves. I still think this is a contender and not a pretender. I still think this is a team that can win the AFC South. Will they make some moves by the NFL trade deadline on November 4th? That's a big part of this as well. Let's get ready for our second hour. Let's do that. It's going to include your opinion. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosure. Also, those watching us on YouTube tonight. Let's go to 1010XL into the night.
He tackles talk radio like a middle linebacker in the gap.
I tell it like I see it, and I see it like a middle linebacker.
Tommy Mack. Fridays on Jaguars Today. Unsealed by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing, no shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
Jacksonville, Hickens calling it. Checkmate Coatings, my MVP. Tough, slick floors that dominate any space.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 20th, 1996, Atlanta Braves' Andrew Jones became the youngest player at 19 to hit a home run in the World Series.
Slacker plumbing.
Yeah, hey, listen, I need a plumber over here right now.
Yeah, well, we don't have any openings for about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yep.
I was just changing the shower head and the water line broke and it's flying everywhere.
All right, 1 week.
What if I throw you an extra $100 to come now?
What's the address?
It's 205.
Huh? I guess he changed his mind.
If you've got a leak that can't wait a week, call Roland Reich Plumbing and fix your plumbing problems fast. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach. Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
The good guys stayed strong and together at their home away from home, and that fight would pay off. In the fourth quarter, Trevor Lawrence would lead the Young Guns on a 5-play, 80-yard drive, capped off by a Travis Hunter touchdown with 9:06 left in regulation. The 2-minute drive is your Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game.
This is Jennifer Marion at Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville, and now's the time to drive away in luxury.
That's right, Jennifer. The $7,500 tax credit ends this month. It's your last month to take advantage of this incredible opportunity.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, drive the all-new electric Optique, Lyric, and Vistique. They are all in stock and ready to drive today.
See all of our inventory at Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.com or visit us on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent you.
Yo, you already know it's your main man E.T. And no one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, we have everything from tequila cocktails and an extensive bourbon category to top shelf spirits and cocktails. Served over ice balls, local craft beers, and handcrafted whiskey cocktails. Rounded out with adventurous drink menus, second to none. And don't forget about our 29-degree drafts. Check them out now on Atlantic and Kernan. Twin Peaks, eat, drink, scenic views. Come on, somebody.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. You've heard me talking about Pella Windows and Doors. With great ratings and expert reviews, you know they're high quality and energy efficient products. So what's your next step? Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or just stop by the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Their professional design consultants will guide you through your entire project from start to finish. And that's the quality and service you can expect from Pella Windows and Doors.
Celebrating 30 years in Jack's Beach. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn is your go-to for cash on the spot. They buy gold. Huge sale on firearms all month. Save during Florida's Second Amendment sales tax holiday with no sales tax on firearms. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jack's Beach.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
That's going to be a busy week, no doubt about it. Can't believe we're already on day 20, the month of October. I mean, before you know it, it's going to be Halloween. Before you know it, we're going to be into November, and things are really going to heat up around here. I'm having, and this is great, okay? I mean, I love it because I appreciate the passion and I appreciate the loyalty. But I threw something out about Mike Alford, the Florida State athletic director, and just how poor of a job, in my opinion, he did with Mike Norvell in the contract extension. And people are like, well, what are you supposed to do? The guy goes in 13-0, and Alabama wants him. You have to sign him to a contract extension. Sure. Absolutely. And I totally supported him getting a contract extension. But what has become so insanely wrong? Why would you give this man an 8-year contract extension? If you had given him 4 years, I would have said fine. And here we are, a year and a half into it. You know it's not going to work. You know he's going to get fired. Okay. You got to pay the buyout and lick your wounds. But you gave a guy who was 3-6, then 5-7. He was 8-13, 6-10 in the ACC in his first 2 years. Went for it on a ridiculous fourth down, his side of the field against Notre Dame, right out of the gate. Wasn't smart enough to play a prevent defense against Jacksonville. I mean, these were absolute colossal mistakes made by your coach. Then he finds Jordan Travis. He gets ahead of everyone else in the transfer portal. He finds the Trey Bensons and Johnny Wilsons and Jared. And he got tons of credit for it, including myself. He can't get those players now. He was the first. He was brilliant at the time. And then he was never able to recover, after the snub. And the snub is his fault. Because during that incredible run of 19 wins in a row, there were so many times where Florida State barely got by, really by the seat of their pants. Still bad coaching, still some awful situations, just phenomenal talent in the ability to get out of problematic situations. Go back to that game in Gainesville a few years ago. Florida State was a big favorite. They should have clobbered Florida. They should have slaughtered Florida. They didn't. It took the greatest, arguably, performance by a Florida State quarterback, historically speaking, to just barely win that game in Jordan Travis, okay? To just barely win that game. And there was so many times where they weren't ready, and they had to come from behind. And I know you're going to tell me, oh, well, hey, Ballou, shut up. They've still won 19 straight games. Oh, really? Well, maybe if they were ready against Northern Alabama, you wouldn't have had to have run Jordan Travis down 13-0 to try to provide a spark. To me, that's coaching. The lack thereof it. They weren't ready. That's Mike Norvell's fault. Okay? It is. Just like it was Mike Norvell's fault a few weeks ago with a 42-0 lead. He left Thomas Castellanos in there, and he rolled his ankle. I was at the game. 42-0. Why in the hell is he out there? The game went through a weather delay. Okay? You got a sloppy track. Why is he playing? It's Mike Norvell. He's a bad coach. Okay? He's a terrible in-game coach. He's a good guy. Bad coach. How in the hell did Mike Alford sign off on an 8-year contract extension? 8 years. It's criminal. It's absolutely criminal. How long was the Napier deal? Do you know? He got fired yesterday. He had, how many years did he have left?
Let me look exactly. I want to say it was like 3 or 4.
Okay.
Let me double check that.
I mean, Jimmy Sexton walked into Mike Norvell's office, walked into Mike Alford's office and said, listen, here's the deal. He's not going to go to Alabama, but here are the terms of the deal. Sign it. An 8-year contract extension for a guy who was 3-6 and 5-7 before he went on this little bit of a tear. And look at what he's done since. 2-10 and 3-4. Mike Norvell has lost 9 straight Atlantic Coast Conference games. How in the hell can you lose 9 straight games in this conference? In the Atlantic Coast Conference, you have lost 9 straight games. How does that happen? I'm all ears. Please tell me. How do you lose 9 straight games in the ACC? How have you gone 5-15 since getting crushed in that bowl game? 5-15. Your only 5 losses are Charlie South, East Texas A&M, Kent State, California by a field goal, and the big win against Alabama. Those are your wins. It's the 4th time that Mike Norvell's had a 4-game losing streak. I don't think Bobby Bowden had that more than once in his career. And I get it. You can't compare him to Bowden. Well, then why in the hell you give him an 8-year contract extension? I would have no problem with this if it was a normal 4-year extension. Get it out there, pay him, let the recruits know he's not going. Fine. But 8 years? You sign. If you're not Nick Saban, you do not get an 8-year contract extension.
Signetti just got one.
Napier got a 1-year extension. Okay, well.
And Napier signed a 7-year deal when he first got to Florida in 2021.
That's different. Not completely, but it's different. You believe he's the guy, you bring him in. Well, Norvell didn't get his extension until the completion of 4 years. Okay? And again, 2 of those years were a disaster. And then he went on this nice run, and you knew that all these players were leaving. And you knew that all these players were going to quit and not show up for that bowl game. He's never been able to recover. So this is all Florida State's fault. And Mike Alford comes out today with that, really just 3rd grade material about what's going on. We ain't going to fire him right now. It's under, observation. We'll address it. No kidding, you're not going to fire him right now. You can't afford to fire him. He's there for one reason only. You can't afford to say goodbye to him. You don't have the dollars to do that. And now you're going to hit up everyone once again and ask them, we need more. We need more. Spend more money. Look at how foolish this organization is. Look at what they did with that stadium. Why? What? The stadium was fine. College football is built on cathedrals. College football is built on a fresh can of paint on the walls and floor, and go on out there and play. This isn't the NFL, okay? This isn't about the upper class. This is about students. This is about ripping off your shirt and painting your face. Oh, no, we want to give the boosters leather boy. We want to give them lazy boys with cup holders. We want waitresses to come up to them and serve them drinks with umbrellas in them at a freaking football game. Useless money. Millions and millions. And you think the players care? The players cared about getting paid. They don't care about this anymore. They would have cared about this, in the early 2000s. They don't care about standalone buildings. They don't care about incredibly looking locker rooms. They don't care about building they don't care about it anymore. All they care about is getting paid. And you keep losing to teams that are nowhere near you when it comes to NIL money, are nowhere near you when it comes to ranking recruiting classes. And even though Florida State's been really bad, I'll tell you what, they've been a hell of a lot better than Stanford, Pittsburgh, and Virginia. They have far more money and resources when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to everything within the football program than Virginia, Pittsburgh, and Stanford. They may have more than those three schools combined. Stanford's got money, don't get me wrong. But with academics, they knock out their starting quarterback. They're without their starting running back. They're without a couple of members of their starting offensive line. They're without key defensive guys. This is Stanford, one of the worst teams in Division I football. I mean, Miami's like a 31-point favorite against them this week. They beat Florida State's brains in. How do you start the game with a delay a game? How do you start the game with a delay of game? Do they not practice? What a totally, completely broken program. Mike Norvell should just walk away. Really. He says he loves Florida State more than any of us. No one cares more about Florida State than Mike Norvell. If Mike Norvell really cared with the bye going on, he would walk away. Just quit. Give him a nice check. Give him, give him 10 million, 20, whatever. Just go away. If he really cared. They don't get his message. He's a good guy. He is a bad coach. Okay? God, that felt good. I recommend it to each and every one of you. Even if you have to open up your car window and yell and scream, it feels so good. As I say all the time, the microphone, ladies and gentlemen, it's my drug.
It takes all cylinders working together to complete a successful drive.
We need a drive right now.
Listen for the Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville drive of the game.
Need a drive right now.
On 1010XL.
We gotta finish.
Elbow pain, whether acute or chronic, can make it difficult to do normal activities like playing sports, doing household chores, or even sleeping comfortably. Dr. George Barr here, and no one wants to deal with pain without solutions on how to feel better. We've all heard of tennis and golfer's elbow, but there's plenty more that can cause pain, like osteoarthritis, muscle tears, and nerve entrapment. All are treatable at Ballou Orthopedics. Getting you back to full health is our mission, and there's a number of different treatment options we can offer. Call us today or visit BallouOrthopedics.com.
All right, Truth Teller here. Small business owners need trucks and vans to keep your business moving. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside has Ram 1500s to heavy-duty 2500s, Pro Masters, and custom uplifts ready to work. Visit them on Commonwealth Avenue or go online to jackswest.com. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local partner for work-ready vehicles.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you become more active, reach your weight loss goals, and find your inner strength. Membership at the Y includes state-of-the-art facilities, a huge variety of fitness classes, and programs for all ages. It's easy to join the Y since it's affordable for all incomes. The Y is a great place to make connections and experience something new. Visit the YMCA near you or online at fcymca.org.
When you want a fresh perspective, pull into Lauren's Lane. I'm Lauren Brooks, and I fuel up with the day's top sports takes. Powered by Mazda at the Avenues. Afternoons on Helmets and Heels, 2 to 4 on 1010XL.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
Rest-A-Pros!
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
Rest-A-Pros!
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to restaprosanyflorida.com. That's restaprosanyflorida.com.
Rest-A-Pros!
Tired of roofers who never answer the phone and just use AI?
I'm Morgan Conley, the People's Roofer. I answer every call. No robots, no runaround. I'm born here, built here, staying here. Visit morganconleyroofing.org.
Ballou here for Spunez Vision. Why Spunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Spunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Spunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Spunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SpunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Hicken here. Celebrate the spooky season with Zero Res. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $139, plus a free haul, and take 15% off your air duct and dryer vent cleaning. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and take advantage of these huge savings.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Business owners, listen up. If your plumbing or AC company keeps giving you the runaround, it's time to cut them loose. Call my friends at Duck Duck Rooter. They already partner with some of the biggest commercial operations in Northeast Florida, like the Jaguars and station operations. Their office team makes invoicing a breeze, and their field techs, top-notch pros. Make the switch today. Duck Duck Rooter, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call 904-862-6769. 904-862-6769. Tell them Frank sent you.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate to 4.99% APR? Hey, Prosper here, and right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. Paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, saved $2,100 a month. One call, life change. There's no wait, no hard credit pull. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 914-999-1508 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Call 914-999-1508. See how much cash you can get today. You can also visit loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171. On approved credit, visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
7-0 Detroit. We're already underway. 9:37 to go, first quarter. And it's Tampa Bay. Tonight, get a chance to see Houston. They will take on Seattle in Seattle, a late game. We've got some baseball tonight as well. Game 7 of the American League Championship Series at 8:10 tonight. Seattle in Toronto. Seattle actually a slight dog here, as you would expect, on the road. All right, what do you think is going to happen at Florida now with Billy Napier? Are they going to get after it and try to replace him in the fairly near future? You know that if they make inroads at a coach like Lane Kiffin and what have you, that at least publicly cannot be stated because he's still coaching a top 10 team right now in college football. It's always very secretive. So we know the calls are going to be made and the conversations are going to take place. But what do you think they're going to do?
I think so. Scott Strickland talked earlier today, and he said that he's in charge and he's going to make the decision on who the next head coach is. I believe the boosters are going to be the one that are going to make this decision, if not force Scott Strickland's hand and say, hey, we want this guy, go get him. And I think it's going to be Lane Kiffin. Now the question is Lane Kiffin going to leave Ole Miss and leave Florida? Depending on who you listen to, Tim Brando says Lane Kiffin's not going to leave Ole Miss. Then you have people like Josh Pate of CBS Sports, and he does a show on YouTube. He said last year he would have walked over and crawled to Gainesville. I don't know if that's the case now. Doesn't mean he won't leave Ole Miss, but he's the number one guy. But that's the main thing right now is who's the person making the decision? Is it Scott Strickland or is it the boosters? And then you go from there.
Money talks. Big name boosters are always involved And there's no question about that. Boy, that's worst case scenario for Florida State fans, for Georgia fans, for anyone who goes head to head with Florida. Lane Kiffin is just brutal. That would be so hard to go up against. He's the guy that I've wanted at Florida State forever. Lane Kiffin's a smart guy. He knows that he'll never win a national title at Mississippi. They're going to be incredibly competitive, but they're not going to win it all. He's got the resources at Florida to win a national title. So for me, it would make sense to take that job. Now, the flip side of that is the pressure, the immense pressure. There's none at Mississippi. He overachieves. At Florida, he's going to be expected to win a national title. So are you better off by waiting for a job that you think is a little bit more attractive? Hell, 5 weeks ago, it looked like Kalen DeBoer wasn't going to survive Alabama. Now, all of a sudden, odds are that, the Crimson Tide, they're the team to beat in the SEC. So look how quickly things can change there. That one sticks out to me. I don't know if there's another job that really does that could open. Can you think of anything else in college football?
Maybe Clemson. I don't know if Dabo
easier
and
pursuits.
Split. Yeah.
The ACC. I mean, right now the best team in the ACC is Georgia Tech.
Yeah. Georgia Tech and Miami. I know Miami just lost, but those are the two.
And Clemson would be foolish to say goodbye to Dabo Swinney. 5974. Rick, you're making coaches sound easy over the radio, but I bet if you were a coach, you would have the same dumb ass look in your face that Urban used to have. Are you talking about Urban when he was winning national titles, or are you talking about Urban where he was listening to Pink Floyd Relics when he was here in Jacksonville? I am here to give my opinion on coaches. I'm glad I'm not a coach. 40-42, what are you saying about Norvell, 8 years, and the same thing about Trevor, 7 years? Why would Khan sign off on that contract? In the NFL, you have one good year, yada, yada. The Jags will pay you big money, stay at teams like the Steelers. Well, for the record, I was the only one in town who said he wouldn't have given Trevor Lawrence the contract extension when they did. The good news about giving him that extension, it really would have been very controversial and problematic about the decision if they had waited another year or two. Imagine that. I mean, they did it, and everyone was like, okay, this is going to be a benefit at the end of the contract. You're not going to pay as much. But imagine if they didn't sign him like I said I didn't think they should, and they let him play out that year, and they let him play out the next year, and then based on the figures, if this year they signed him to this long-term contract extension, how many people would have turned in those 2 years?
Oh, man. Definitely a lot. I still think eventually, the contract might have been not as many years, but he still would have gotten paid, at 45, 50, 55 million. That's just the going rate in the NFL. I mean, you know how it is in the league where you feel like you don't have to have a great quarterback, but if you have a good enough quarterback, they just, what's the contract? Here you go, and on you go.
47-51 Ballou. I never seen a Brian Thomas Jr. debacle like this. Can't imagine that he can simply man up and overcome it. He's a liability with limited routes. Would you move him for someone like Garrett Wilson, for example, maybe in a larger trade for other players? I know it's year 2, but I don't see it. I don't think I would, and there's a few reasons, but I think one of those is it's a very small fraternity. All right, this is a small league, and whatever chatter is out there, other teams are aware. So my opinion is you're not going to get equal value in a trade. And, would that include Garrett Wilson? We can go kind of back and forth on that and argue the point. Who would you rather have? Who's the better wide receiver now? We understand Wilson has really struggled with the quarterbacks that he has worked with. But it feels like you'd be moving him at an all-time low where it looked like 3 weeks ago he was starting to return. And then even last week on 10 attempts, he had 8 receptions. He had the 2 drops. One, some of you out there still argue with me and say it wasn't a drop, it was a slip. And then we saw it again yesterday. He was an absolute non-factor. But no, I would try to fix him. It's a good question, but I would do my best to try to fix Brian Thomas Jr. I will say this, though, and I said at the top of the show, as far as I'm concerned, Travis Hunter's playing offense. Okay, I know he got 14 snaps on defense yesterday, but he is my offensive guy, and he becomes my priority number 1 with my passing offense. Brian Thomas, maybe that'll free him up a little bit. Maybe he'll start to produce in that aspect of things. But the big mistake yesterday was not doing anything at all with Hunter until 28 minutes into the first half, and they ran a 1-yard reverse, right? So,
do you think he should be playing more defense, at least yesterday?
No. I'm going to go less. You know, they've given up on Jarian Jones. You go to, from week 3, the snap counts for Jarian Jones, okay? 2, 0, 3, 0, 1 yesterday. This is a guy that told us he's never been in this type of defense, you know, in his career. Last year, as a rookie, where he was primarily the slot guy, and in his career at Florida State. You look at snaps yesterday, Jordan Lewis had 69, Buster Brown had 70, Greg Newsome, the second, had 25. So they didn't even put Hunter in here, for crying out loud. But we know he had 14 snaps on defense. There you go. My plan right now is pretty simple. I need him on offense. I need to try to outscore opponents. You're going to give up some on D. I think he's more valuable right now as an offensive player than a defensive player. 0148 Blue, I agree. These coaching contracts are ridiculous. You know, it's in a way almost ruined the sport. It has. It's absurd. You know, we never hear about NFL contracts. For one reason or another, they're not public. Or if they are, they're just not there all the time for us to look at. Like in college football, that's the first thing you always look for, is the years and the amount of money. Again, if they originally, I'll have to go back and look at his original contract. Okay? If they originally signed Mike Norvell to a 6 or 7 year contract, maybe, but certainly not an extension of 8 years. That's a totally different deal. In 4 years, he didn't prove it.
It was 6 years, $26 million in December of 2019.
So 19, 20, 21, 22.
And then he got his extension in 24 for 8 years.
So, all right, that's too much. That's too much.
$80 million.
Absolutely too much. You know, forever it was players need to get paid. And they're getting paid. I still think that should be policed. I still think there should be a governing body that finds a way to make this somewhat more about the team than the individual player. And I get it. In the set of circumstances, I mean, you can never take away how much money Doug Flutie made for BC. How much money Brian Bosworth made for Oklahoma. Manziel for Texas A&M. I mean, it just goes on. Percy Harvin and Tim Tebow for you can never, Peter Warwick for you can never turn that around and pay those guys. There are exceptions to the rule, but I would like it to be capped. And, you know, this whole 15-day window where if a coach leaves, you can get up and transfer, save a year. I just wish there were more rules because the game is out of control. right now. And the worst part of it are these coaching contracts. And I'm watching baseball, man. Like the highest paid manager in baseball makes like $2 million.
Well, they're not even the ones that are making the decisions. It's the analytic, dude in the box that's saying, we got to put this guy in the lineup here because he gets on base more, whoever.
No. Well, I mean, that applies to fourth down, too. That applies to go for it, go for two, go for one. So much of this comes into play. I understand identifying and wanting to get your man. But I don't think you should sacrifice the future of a university by that hire. And he was on top of the world. Bama asked. And as good of a guy as Norvell is, he went the route of Jimbo Fisher. He became invisible for about a 36-hour period. And everyone was worried about it. And you got nothing out of Mike Norvell. What he did is he allowed Jimmy Sexton to take out a revolver and point it right at the Seminole head and say, give us what we want or we're going to Alabama. So Florida State gave him what he wanted. And look at where they are now. All right, much more to do. Take you up until 8 o'clock. He's still in Denmark. I'm Rick Ballou.
The Gator Boys are back and ready to defend their national title.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
This is Gator Country. Your home for Gators Hoops is 1010XL.
This is your escape. This is your next adventure. This is Mazda, and this is Mazda at the Avenues. Lauren Brooks here. Right now, purchase any new Mazda model, and Mazda at the Avenues will match your down payment or your payments for 1 full year. Plus, every new Mazda comes with 3 years, 36,000 miles of maintenance at no additional charge to you. This is luxury, and this is the start of something new. This is Mazda at the Avenues. For complete details, call 904-430-8047.
I'm Stacy, and I want to tell you about my fogged up window fiasco at my house. I called up Mac at Baker Glass, and he told me all I needed was a glass replacement. The process was so easy. All within a few days, they came out, measured, called me with an estimate, cut my glass, and came out to install the new ones. Now my view outside is fog-free thanks to Mac and his crew at Baker Glass. And my neighbors think I got some fancy new windows.
I'm Mac with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Frank Frangie here for Coyle & Sons Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember the 2017 AFC Championship game when Miles Jack wasn't down? You know what else isn't down? Fences installed by Coyle. Their fences have been standing tall here in Jacksonville for nearly a century. Since 1927, Coyle has been the fencing leader in Northeast Florida. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821, CoyleJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E Jacks.com. Coyle Fencing, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Fumbled your fender? EV took a hit? Guardian Collision is your MVP with certified expert auto body repair for any electric vehicle. Guardian Collision. They guard what moves you. Visit GuardianCollision.com.
Hi, I'm Amber Frangie. You know that other Frangie? Well, he's my dad. But I'm here to tell you about how much I appreciate the Awaken 180 weight loss program and how it's changed my life. Like a lot of folks, I let myself go a little. Not proud of that, but it happens. And I wasn't sure what to do. I've tried a lot of other weight loss programs, but they just didn't work. Not like Awaken 180. Can you believe I've lost 70 pounds in less than 4 months? With Awaken 180, there's no medication, no shots, and no side effects. And best of all, really fast results. You eat the food that's provided, and it's really good food. You work with a coach on a regular basis who guides you through the whole process. I'm never hungry. In fact, I never feel like I'm sacrificing anything. Just living a totally normal life. That's my new normal. And now, in October, they're offering free consultations. So there's no reason not to call them and learn more. Call them at 844-346-1800, or you can visit awaken180.com. It really has changed my life, and I bet it'll change yours too. That's Awaken 180.
Game days aren't the only win happening in the 904. Best of Bold City named 904 Gutters with a Z the #1 seamless gutter company in Duval. Like the team's O-line protects their QB. Call the winning team at 904 Gutters with a Z to protect your home from the rain.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Do you know what employees say is their number one perk at work? Extra PTO? Nope. Gym memberships? Guess again. It's free lunch. And what's the best way to order food for work? EasyCater, a food tool built for the modern workplace. With online ordering from a huge variety of restaurants for any group size, tools to meet dietary needs and stay on budget, employee meal programs, and more. All on one platform. So perk up your workplace with EasyCater. Order now at easycater.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Well, the big news really comes on the heels of yesterday, where both Napier and Norvell were fired. I don't mean to laugh, but it's Jay Norvell, and I'm just telling you, he's at Colorado State. Wasn't that fooled some of the Knowles out there with that headline. Napier out, and I still don't understand. First of all, as far as I'm concerned, Jeff Lebby should be fired for allowing his quarterback to throw that interception.
They were so ridiculous.
You were in field goal range. Just kick the field goal and get out of there with the W.
You run the ball, you get at worst a 37, 38-yard field goal, you win, and then you win. Instead, Mississippi State hasn't won a conference game in I don't even know how long now. They're like Florida State. In the SEC.
Oh, that one hurt. I mean, it hurts so bad you just got to laugh. You really do. It's the only way you can get through it. But, of course, Napier went 22-23, 12-16 in the Southeastern Conference, a 3-4 record this year, and overall, not enough. So you just look around. Penn State, Florida, also in the SEC. You have Arkansas. You have Oklahoma State that has had two coaches in the last 30 years, maybe? Les Miles and Mike Gundy.
I know Mike Gundy's been there my entire lifetime that I can remember. I think he got there in 05, 06?
When Les Miles went to LSU.
Yeah.
Vatek. Okay. Stanford. And I don't know if Frank Reich wants that gig, but you've got Andrew Luck, you got a bunch of wicked smart guys. They're really not all that good at football. As a matter of fact, they suck at football, except for when they play in my alma mater. UCLA, you're just going to give it to Neuheisel's kid. They've won 3 in a row now. And if you looked at jobs that could open, okay, Florida State's is going to open. It has to. I mean, you're getting it. It's completely. They just have to find the money. Okay, you're gonna have to pay for it, but it's gonna happen. There's absolutely no way that they can hold on to Mike Norvell. He's lost the team. Auburn, that whole deal that happened a couple of weeks ago. They really got screwed by a couple of calls against Georgia. And that whole Kirby Smart situation, both that goal line and the timeout. Hugh Freeze, it feels like he's on the doorstep of being let go. Who did they lose to? Close game. Was it Mizzou?
Oklahoma.
No.
They had a bad call, I think, against Oklahoma, too, early.
Yeah, but this week they lost to
Missouri.
Missouri, yeah.
That game went to overtime.
And then the whole Brian Kelly deal. I mean, even when Brian Kelly was 5-1, was there a situation in college football where the fan base has been down on a coach the way that they are with Brian Kelly? They're now 5-2. They just cannot score anywhere near where they are supposed to. That is a team that is really limited right now offensively. And you go back to Nussmeier, a lot of people thought he may have been, going into the year, the number 1 draft pick coming up in next year's draft.
Yeah, there's that, and I still can't get over Vanderbilt controlling both lines of scrimmage the entire game. And Vanderbilt had a commanding lead. Like, there was never a point in that game, Rick, where you felt like LSU had control or that LSU was going to win that game.
Yeah. Now, other jobs will open if they grab those vacant jobs. I mean, Matt Rule could leave Nebraska and go to Penn State. Kelly Dillingham could leave Arizona State and go to Florida State. Lane Kiffin could leave Mississippi and go to Florida State or Florida. It just goes on and on and on. So it's basically a, revolving door. And when you look at schools that have had a really good year at non-traditional blue blood schools, those are the guys who are always going to look to try to get to a better spot. Missouri, Virginia, Texas Tech. Even though Texas Tech may be the exception here because they're spending like a true blue blood. Interesting conversation we had a few weeks ago with Tim Brando. It's like people in Texas are offended that Tech is actually spending money with A&M and the Longhorns.
Because they're taking their players.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. South Florida. There's another example. So, those are the type of coaches that are going to end up grabbing other jobs. Going to be very interesting when it's all said and done. Miami loses to Louisville. And, Carson Beck, man, just an awful night. He had 4 interceptions, but he was really rattled in this game. I mean, it looked to me like, I don't want to come out here and make a claim that he was injured or something like that, but it looked like he was constantly shaking out the cobwebs. Malachi is an absolute star for the U. He may be my favorite guy to actually watch play college football. I mean, it's kind of like, honestly, like going back last year and watching Travis Hunter in those late night games at the University of Miami, at Colorado. Malachi Toney, 38 receptions, 510 yards. And the former quarterback throws for a 2-point conversion. That was a really good game.
Yeah, he played his senior year in high school at American Heritage, or his junior year. He's supposed to be a senior in high school right now.
He just turned 18.
He, at American Heritage, his quarterback got hurt. He played quarterback and was, phenomenal. They still won the state title.
Mm-hmm. So being undefeated is cool, but you don't have to be undefeated in today's college football playoff. The Buckeyes 1, Indiana 2, Texas A&M 3, all undefeated. Georgia Tech at number 7, undefeated. BYU at number 11 after their Holy War win over Utah, undefeated. And then you have Navy in at number 28. I was checking out Navy's schedule last night. It gets very difficult here coming up, including a matchup against Notre Dame. But, as we wrap things up here, it's never want to bite the hand that feeds you, okay? But it's not a spectacular weekend for college football. I tell you what it is. It's an opportunity for some major upsets this weekend in college football. The premier game, in my opinion, is Mississippi at Oklahoma. A couple of 6-1 teams. Believe it or not, it's not going to get the attention around here or even across America, but arguably, one of the top 3 or 4 games this weekend is in the American Conference, with South Florida going to Memphis, especially after Memphis just got knocked from the unbeatens by, losing their game to UAB. It's tough, when you brag about the SEC, you brag about the Blue Bloods. Well, the best game of the SEC this weekend, not named Mississippi and Oklahoma, is 15th ranked Missouri at 10th ranked Vanderbilt.
That's where game day is going to be.
Quarterback is sensational, man.
Oh my gosh.
He is so much fun to watch. He really is. And that's basically, Stanford goes to Miami. Texas A&M going to LSU at night will be a great game. Okay, that's one that I'm glad it's at night. So that'll get my, undivided attention on Saturday night, going to see the Tedeschi Trucks concert in St. Augustine on Friday night. But Saturday, that is going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun, no doubt about that. All right, we'll put our final touches on this one. Kind of an off day for so many of you diehard sports fans. I mean, when was the last time You had the Jags lose the way they did. Florida State lose. Well, every week, Rick. Okay, sorry. Florida State lose. Miami lose. And it feels like Florida lost because they fired their coach.
Yeah, there was a one game, or it was one weekend last year where all 3 pro teams lost in the state of Florida, and every Division I team in Florida lost in the same weekend. I vividly remember that happening. Like, that was a headline. But other than that, I can't remember another time.
Well, Miami certainly lost, and McDaniels could be next as far as a coach who gets fired, although he did get the dreaded vote of confidence a little bit earlier today, losing at Cleveland. You see what happened in that game? In the Cleveland game.
Oh, yeah.
Tyson Campbell a pick six.
And that was from Rayshawn Jenkins' pressure.
How about in New England, where all of a sudden it's like, what has happened? I don't know why Tennessee fired Mike Vrabel. He never had a quarterback.
Well, because he was too mean, Rick.
Yeah, well, they're winning right now in New England. And K'Lavon Chason.
Oh, he's a dude.
2 sacks yesterday and a fumble recovery for a touchdown. He has more sacks right now at 4.5 than Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen have combined.
That's ridiculous.
At 2.5.
That's ridiculous.
It's been a bad week for sports fans. No doubt about it. Thank God there's more games to come.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
This is Mike Lynch, PGA Golf Professional. Take it from me. If you're dealing with an orthopedic issue, talk to the doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where you're treated like a pro.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros. Thanks to all of you who have allowed us to be part of your recovery. Call us at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists if you ever have a need.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL. Served by Dandy Foods, making quality fresh sandwiches since 1956.
Big number 1 Duval Ford is trusted by Duval families, Duval businesses, and law enforcement across Florida. We're Jacksonville's largest Ford dealer by new Ford sales, with the biggest service facility to keep everything in your driveway and in your fleet on the road. Shop Big number 1 Duval Ford on Cassett Avenue for our low prices and nationally recognized service-first experience. Big number 1 Duval Ford, proudly serving North Florida since 1916.
San Jose Collision is hiring for an automotive detailer and porter. If you're detail-oriented, dependable, and love working with cars, apply in person at San Jose Collision in Mandarin. Valid driver's license required.
Don't ghost your carpet this fall. Hicken here. Right now, you can get your entire home zero-resified from Jacksonville's Ultimate Carpet Cleaner and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $139 plus a free haul for Halloween. Get it? There's something scarier than ghosts and goblins hiding in your home. It's in your air ducts. This month, take 50% off your air duct and dryer vent cleaning. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com. Ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
This right here, this is where it starts. With a little flame and a lot of love. When the air cools or the night falls, fire brings the warmth. But it's what we bring to the table that matters. Slow smoked barbecue. Stories that stretch long. Laughter that lingers. And moments that just feel full. That's why it's always Sunny's here.
Rollovers, head-on collisions, hit and runs, you name it, we've litigated it.
And while insurance companies joke about the mayhem that occurs on roadways, we've seen the real effects. Lost lives, catastrophic injury, cars crushed like soda cans. And trust us, there's nothing funny about it.
If you've been in a crash, count on our experienced attorneys to seek full justice and all the money your case is worth.
For a fairer fight, you know who to call. Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Kuhn Flowers announces their home holiday decorating team is now taking orders for the holiday season. This is Max with 1010XL. No more hassling with tree buying, untangling, and hanging burned out lights. Call Kuhn Flowers. They'll do it all.
Fall is here. The air is crisp. Football is on, and the perfect backyard atmosphere starts with a high-quality fireplace from CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Hey, it's Joe C. Imagine nights by the fire, cheering on your team, surrounded by friends and family. CSS can transform your outdoor space into the ultimate game day destination. Stylish, warm, and built for memories. With several wood, gas, and electric options, let CSS make your backyard the best seat in the house. Visit CSSFireplaces.com.
Hey, David again here with Royal Pet Services. It's that time of year when rodents start making their way into our homes. Layson, tell them what they need to get in.
A quarter-size hole.
That's right. That's all they need. Hey, tell them where to go for a free attic and exterior inspection.
Visit RoyalPetServices.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hacker After Dark comes up right now here on 92.5 FM. How are you?
It's a busy news weekend in the world of sports. A little bit to talk about tonight.
Yeah, pretty insane. Down weekend around these parts, and that includes deep in the state. If you look at Miami losing to Louisville, it feels like Florida lost after firing their coach. Florida State did lose.
Yeah.
And obviously yesterday, not a good performance by the Jaguars.
No, when the highlight for most is Billy Napier being fired, it's a bad weekend. Carson Beck and 4 interceptions. The hit on Castellanos was a cheap shot. A lot of people probably didn't see it at 2 a.m. Saturday morning, or I guess Sunday morning. Bad loss for Florida State, but do we know Castellanos' status moving forward? I mean, what a hit he took on that scramble.
Well, if you ask Mike, you'll lose your credential. So,
well,
I mean, we'll just have to wait until game time against Wake Forest.
I mean, I got Florida State buddies that are fuming that Alfred's not doing anything until at least the end of the season. I know they released a statement. You're Mr. Florida State. I mean, what's your thought there?
Well, he's gone. They just have to create some cash.
Is it that they don't have the $55 million right now? Is that the reason why?
Well, it's not $55 million. It's comes down to being $100 million because you got to wipe out this and then hire a brand new staff.
Where do you get that money from?
Florida State has money. They have boosters who have cash. I mean, it's gettable. Don't get me wrong. They're not in the same category as Penn State or Florida when it comes to coffers and how long the alumni have been of diehard football fans. I mean, Florida State's football team has only been around for, 62, 63 years, something like that. So I'm not trying to make excuses here, but there's still money.
Yeah.
And there's other ways around it. I mean, there's banks you can borrow, private equity, no matter what it is. I mean, they're gonna owe a heck of a lot of cash, but what do you think it's going to be like over there in 12 days? I mean, they got Wake Forest coming in. Thankfully, it's a night game, so that may help a little bit because the fans can get, fired up before it. But, I think you're going to be looking at 30,000 fans for that game. And you can't keep a program running. They need to sell every beer in that stadium that they can to pay this contract.
Yeah, it'll be a bad look. I thought overall it was a bad look for Florida over the weekend. I understand if you're a Gator fan or if you're in the Gator media, you get why they did fire Napier after a win. But I thought overall the fire Billy stuff, the booing him off the field, at some point he becomes a human being as well. And I think Scott Strickland did him a favor in letting him go now, because if he would have brought him out there for the cocktail party, it would have been just as bad, if not worse. So that gets into the people side of sports. And again, I've said many times how much I like Billy Napier as a person. I just did not want him to be the coach at Florida anymore. But I thought, it was unfortunate how that went down on Saturday.
Yeah, I'd agree. I would have fired him after Texas A&M. I mean, you basically made him a lame duck all week long, and we talked about it here on the radio. And, as far as the negativity, well, when you're in public, that happens.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I have people get on my ass all the time and criticize me, and I have a feeling Billy Napier makes a little bit more cash than I do.
Yeah, well, he'll have $21 million, so I'm sure he'll be fine with it. But I think you could tell what his players thought of him by all the responses on social media.
Yeah,
obviously, the players still really liked Billy Napier, and I think that does say something.
All right, what do you got coming up?
Yeah, we're going to talk with Ben Troop, former All-American tight end at the University of Florida, about the Billy Napier situation. Also, the coach, Mark Duffner, is going to join us to break down whatever that was in London yesterday and just give an overall thought. 4-3 going into the bye week and a huge game a week from Sunday against the Las Vegas Raiders.
All right, Hack, have a fun show.
Thanks, Rick.
It's coming up right now, Hacker Nation. That'll do it for us. I did not get an opportunity to respond to as many of you as I would like on social media, on our text line, on YouTube tonight. We just got so many that were in, and it's expected because a lot happened over the weekend, but I do appreciate it. Whether you agree or disagree, I do appreciate you getting involved, and your opinion is always worthy to us here. For Dylan Denmark, I am Rick Ballou. We'll be back tomorrow night at 6 o'clock right here on 92.5 FM, your home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.